What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. The intro decided to just cut out halfway through there, but we're here, people. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well on this Friday. And Arsenal are back tomorrow afternoon. Is that a good thing or not? Well, I suppose we'll know by about 5 o'clock tomorrow, man. And we'll see what happens. Nottingham Forest at home, must-win game. Big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. For the rest of the season, most of us will be watching with no emotion. That's what I'm trying to do as well. Intro moving like Havertz for real, just invading the space and not doing anything. Big up LSU who's back. He hasn't been about for a while. He said, big up the community. Good morning from Houston, Texas. And hopefully you got better weather than we've got. It was snowing this morning, man. Not built for this cold weather, I can't lie. Big up the community. Hope you're well. Big up the whole C unit. David said, same reason Eddie got a new deal. Was end of the season form only. It's about now. I hear you. Jay Black said, like the video, 84k by Monday. Come on, let's get those subscribers up. Get the likes up. Alvin said, no to the Trossard new deal. We will talk about that in more detail. Rastaman, blessed love community no matter the time. Wherever you are in the world, people, you know, big up your damn selves. See you next. Big up everyone. Watching faster than Curtis offside chip goal. I can't believe it was offside, but hey. No VAR, we got away with it. Anyway, Pep's staying for 2 more years, people. We thought it was 1 more year. 2 more years of Pep Guardiola. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. I've seen it, so I have to acknowledge it. 2 more years of Pep Guardiola. But you can't win anything with Pep here. That's what they told us. If Pep's here, you've got no chance. So do we pack up, shut down the stadium for 2 years? Or are we actually going to try and defeat him? I've said it before and I've said it again, people. I want Arsenal to win the league with Pep here. I'm not in this thought process that, oh, when Pep leaves, we'll dominate. I want Arsenal to win the league while he's here. Rastaman said Cecil called Arteta a generation. Did he call him? I don't know. I think he called him a genius. Do you know what? He said it, and then I heard it back after, and I was like, I never heard him say that at the time. I couldn't believe it when I heard it back. But you know, we're trying to fight the fight, people out there. It's winning fixes everything in football, as I always say, man. Nothing's gonna change for the time being when it comes to the manager. I think it's a discussion that will be had at the end of the season. My opinion is my opinion, and I've put it out there many times. But yeah, it is what it is. Jazz says, Big C, glad the stream is back. I've missed the community. Big up the community as always, man. George says, go get Zidane, drop 20 bags per year and guarantee you he's coming. 20 million. Arsenal Future said, greetings, Curtis, brother. We need to move on as a club. We have become very stagnant. We need both new owners and a new manager. I hear you. I hear you on that, man. I would have no problem with that. Right, let's talk Arsenal. Press conference has happened. I've seen a few headlines. We'll do that at the end of the show. Waffle settings. We'll round up and then we'll discuss what the potential starting 11 should be tomorrow. Obviously, a big game. Forest, Curtis Shaw derby as we're calling it. It'll be a tricky game. They're going to go for us, I'll tell you that much. They're not going to be afraid of us. You know, they've been to Anfield and beat Liverpool. Why are they going to be scared to come to the Emirates? This is a huge game for Arsenal. Big up Mo, who said, season is done. Get that jarhead out of my club. Yo, Mo. With the paid in full picture, man, he's not messing around. AMSN said, we always do this, scapegoat the wrong players. Trossard has been so good for us. Scored 17 goals last season. Just because of a few bad games, everyone's saying sell him. Any player can have a bad patch. And I do hear you to a certain extent on that. And the reality of the situation is, a lot of attacking players struggle under Mikel Arteta. That's the reality of the situation. This isn't me having an agenda. This is the reality. The list is there. It's evident. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, Willian, Martinelli, guys who have regressed under this manager. Trossard, I would say at the end of last season, a lot of us were saying this is one of the most clutch players in the Arsenal squad. And we're very happy to have him, should he be even starting. I would say for the last 2 months he's been awful. Does that justify people saying, let's get rid of him? Do we keep him as a squad player? Or should we give him the new contract? I'm going to tell you where I'm at with it. In fact, let's get into it. Let's talk about Leandro Trossard. You segued in nicely. We're going to talk about both the left wingers in this show. Martinelli being linked with a move to Bayern Munich. Trossard on the verge, apparently, of signing a new 3-year contract. Stella R. Trossard. At times we called him Bossard, Bossardinho, Trossardinho. This year it's been Drunkyard, Stella R. Trossard, and Drossard people. Where am I at with Leandro Trossard? Does he justify this new contract? The story that came out of the Mail, Arsenal are in talks with Leandro Trossard over a new contract that would include a significant pay rise. Now, just to put it into context, Leandro Trossard turns 30 next month. He's 29 at the moment. He'll be 30 next month. He's currently on £90,000 a week. And according to this article in the Mail, Trossard's new contract will be 130 grand a week for 3 years. That will take him up to 2028. So it'll be a 3.5-year deal, if you like. 2028, he'll be 33 years of age. Of course, new deal, there's going to be a pay rise, 40 grand a week pay rise. There's two sides to this, and this is worthy of a poll. This is worthy of a poll. If I was defending Trossard, I would say what was just put in that super chat. At the back end of last season, this was a vital player. One of our most clutch players who came up with some important goals for Arsenal at key periods of games. So, on one hand, he's got a year left on his deal in the summer. The club are not going to allow him to go into the last year of his contract. They either sell him or they extend his contract. We know that we turned down 35 million euros, which is around 30 million pounds from Saudi in the summer window when our window had closed. Listen, this is where I'm at with Trossard. Form doesn't make you a good or a bad player. Sometimes a player has a good run, it doesn't mean he's a top player. Sometimes a player has a bad run, it doesn't mean he's a bad player. I don't think that Trossard is a bad footballer, right? I don't. I think he's a decent player. I think he's a good squad player. The problem that you've got for me is I've seen people saying protect his value. I don't think the value is there, really. I think if you give him a 3-year deal and you keep him for another year, 2 years, I think the value disappears. I think Trossard, when he turns 31, 32, is almost worth nothing. I don't think you get anything for him. I suppose the problem you've got, if Arsenal's intention is to sign a new left winger this summer, you can't have a new left winger, Trossard and Martinelli. So there may be a decision to make that you've got to cash in on one of them. Now, Martinelli's a lot younger, a lot quicker, a lot more direct. Not playing great either. Trossard is 29, less wages, not playing great either. I'm going to be honest, Lawrence says in 3 years he'll look like a pensioner. I mean, some would say he already does. Trossard, for me, I'm not going to write him off as a player because I think for £27 million he's been a good signing for Arsenal. He's kind of done exactly what he says on the tin. I'm not comfortable with the contract. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not comfortable with the contract. I think the contract's too long. I don't think he justifies that contract. I don't think at 30 years of age, which he turns in 2.5 weeks, I don't think a 30-year-old who is out of form, which he is, we can't ignore it. I don't think a 30-year-old that is out of form justifies a 3-year contract. I think that's too long. And I know people will say sometimes, it's not our money and blah, 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 and he's a good sub. No, but these contracts sometimes stop you from doing business. I've got no doubt Kai Havertz's contract stops us from signing a major striker in January. You can't just buy and buy and buy all the time. You can't. Now, okay, maybe the club think, keep Trossard, sell Martinelli because he has more value, bring in a new left winger. Your new left winger starts, Trossard's the backup left winger. You can understand that situation. Or would you rather get rid of Trossard, make Martinelli the squad player and buy a new left wing? So that's the decision that you potentially have to make. I don't see Arsenal spending big money on a left winger, keeping Trossard and Martinelli. That's three players. Three players who would be on big wages. It's a difficult decision to make. I want to know what you guys think, and I'm going to put a poll up. Do you agree with Trossard getting a new 3-year contract? I'll be totally honest. The Trossard contract, for me, it's not justified. That should be a 1-year contract extension. Maybe a 1-year extension with a 1-year option. Tying yourself down to Martinelli at 130 grand a week for 3 years when he's out of form. I'm sorry, mate. Absolutely no chance he would be getting that contract. He's not even playing well. For all we know, he's fading, and we should be thinking about getting rid of him. What's your thought? Do you agree? Do you agree with Trossard new 3-year deal? I personally don't agree with it. I do not think you should be giving an out-of-form player a new deal. I would be saying to him, listen, mate, you better get your head down and concentrate on football before your agent starts talking to me about new contracts. We'll give you a 1-year contract extension with a 1-year option. If you don't like it, mate, start learning Arabic because you're going to Al Ittihad in June. It's as simple as that for me. Like, it is typical Arsenal. Oh, you're out of form here, mate. Have a pay rise. Imagine going in an office and not doing your job well and being rewarded for it. Come on, man. It's not the time for the new deal. It's not even the time. Let him hit a hot streak again and play well. And a lot of you are right. They gave Rob Holding a new deal. Oh, protect his value. Oh, that's funny. He's playing for Crystal Palace. Under 23s at the age of 28. So his value wasn't protected. Oh, Eddie Nketiah is a decent substitute. Oh, that's funny, mate. 10 Premier League games. He hasn't scored 1 goal for Crystal Palace. Oh, but El Nenny's a good squad player. Where's he playing now? I think he's gone to the Saudi League or the Dubai League. So these squad players that people used to hype about, they're good squad players. They're good options off the bench. Jorginho, fantastic experience. No, not interested. Listen, I think some of the responsibility might have to be on the manager. Why has Trossard faded so much? This guy was an amazing clutch player off the bench for us at one stage. He looks like an old man. Now, he always kind of looked like an old man. But he's playing like an old man as well. Let me see what you guys think. South London's finest. Big C, do you think Arteta and Arsenal are open to selling Martinelli? I think if somebody offered big money, they'd sell him. We're going to talk about that when we talk about him shortly. MLK said, we reward mediocrity. One thing you hear about at Arsenal is like, oh, his attitude's great. He trains well. You never hear things like, he's on fire at the moment. He can't stop scoring. Loads of clubs want him. You don't hear that. You hear things like, oh, he's so good in training, Eddie Nketiah. He's got a great attitude. He's a pleasure to work with. Mate, not interested in that. I want to know he's performing on the pitch. I want to know what the reason is that Trossard is playing so badly. I've said for a long time, and somebody said this in the comments earlier, I don't think Trossard's a left wing. I think the only way you get Trossard to work on the left is if you use him as an actual like left forward, where he's almost on the corner of the penalty area. As I always say for Arsenal, when you play left wing for Arsenal, you're almost playing as a wing back. You watch Arsenal play, especially away from home. Watch how much running Saka and Martinelli do defensively. I actually think a lot of his best work is in the penalty area. I think at times we should have dropped Havertz and maybe played Trossard up front. I think there's a genuine argument that Trossard is the best finisher at Arsenal. Like, genuinely, I think if I said to you all in the comments right now, who's the best finisher at Arsenal, I think Trossard would be very high on your list. And I wonder sometimes why he doesn't get played up front. Well, we know the reason why he doesn't get played up front. Because the manager's stepson plays up front. Kai, Arteta, Havertz. So this guy never gets a chance. I would actually have no problem with seeing Trossard play up front. And you play Martinelli and Saka out wide, but it'll never happen. Because of Havertz. So playing him left wing, getting him defending and running back. No wonder the grey hairs are falling out of his head. I would have given him a 1-year contract extension with a 1-year option. 3 years at this stage, not for me. Doesn't justify it, you know. I think the timing's wrong. Big up Matt Southern Gooner. You know who should be getting that contract? If we did the Havertz deal the right way instead of paying top dollar and length, we could be having the discussion. We are top heavy with squad fodder. And when you look at it, this summer we are absolutely desperate. And I mean desperate. Desperate to improve our forward line. I think we need 2 players to go into our forward line. Do you know what? We might even need 3. Because we need a left winger, probably to start next season. Unless Martinelli or Trossard go crazy. At the moment, you're thinking, get me Kvara, get me Leao, get me Nico Williams, get me a left winger. We need a striker to start. Havertz ain't good enough. Jesus ain't good enough. And we probably might need a right winger to compete with Saka because we're not going to sign Raheem Sterling. And Reece Nelson needs to be sold in the summer. So we might need 3 attacking players this summer. We'll probably be lucky if we get 1 or 2 of them. You've got Havertz on 275. You've got Jesus on 250. You're about to give Trossard 130. Saka's on 200. Who's going to leave? Who's going to sign these players to enable us to bring players in? You're actually tying yourself down and giving yourself less space to actually move people on. So the only thing I can think with this deal is that the club might be thinking that time's up for Martinelli. Simon said, I disagree though. I think Gabriel is a better finisher. The problem with Gabriel, half the time, he's not even in the penalty area and he doesn't even look like he's got any confidence. Maybe an informed Gabriel Martin. In fact, are you on about Gabriel Jesus or Martinelli? I would imagine you're on about Jesus. Martinelli's finishing is not there at the moment. And Jesus is never in the area. So, you know. Yeah, and an attacking midfielder. You're right, George. Because who's the backup for Odegaard? We've just seen what Odegaard being out the team looks like. We don't even know who to play there. So, yeah. We're going to talk about Martinelli. Let me go through these super chats. Richard said, a game is a must-win until we don't win it. It's still the most fat comment anyone has ever dropped on this channel. Nothing but facts, weak mentality. It's a must-win game. Yeah, but we drew. Oh, no, we didn't have to win. You know, we're still in it. That's what everyone said. We had to beat Chelsea until we didn't win. And then it wasn't a must-win. AMSN, how many goals did Martinelli score last season? Trossard was a second highest scorer last season, only behind Saka. And Saka took the penalties. Do you know the problem in football? We always joke about it. What have you done for me lately? It's like your girlfriend, you know? You can't say, yeah, but look what I bought for you 2 Christmases ago. What are you buying me this Christmas? That's what she wants to know. Unfortunately, people don't care what Trossard did last season. Last season's done. Martinelli could turn around to Trossard and say, look what I did 2 seasons ago. Got 15 Premier League goals. I went to the World Cup with Brazil. Who cares? 2 seasons ago. 1 season ago. What are you doing right here, right now? Trossard's stinking out of the place. Getting sent off. Playing pass backs that are leading to players getting sent off. Missing sitters in the last minute. And that's football. It's horrible. Football is brutal. A year ago, 18 months ago, Trossard, we all loved him. Martinelli, we all loved him. Now we're sitting here going, I'd probably get rid of both of them. That's how crazy football is. It's the most brutal sport in the world, people. It's so ruthless. So, Trossard, I'll leave that there, that poll. Breaking news, Arsenal set to sign Mike Tyson on a 5-year deal. He'll be our target man to fire away shots just as effective as Havertz. I mean, at least he'd bite the keeper's ear off. I take it. And he's got aggression, that is for sure. Although he didn't have much aggression in the Jake Paul fight. Trossard new contract is fine. Teams need a guy that can come off the bench and score. Martinelli is a bigger issue for me. We need to upgrade. Fair enough. I get you. I suppose if Trossard's the bench guy. SG said, left wing is not the only position that needs an upgrade. We need a number 10. Odegaard ain't it. He's a squad player at best. It's funny, you know, there are a lot of people that are still not convinced with Odegaard. My thing with Odegaard, I'm going to be totally honest with you with Odegaard, right? I always say a creative player is only as good as the player that he's creating chances for. You can't be a great number 10 if the guy you're passing the ball to is not a great goal scorer. I've been critical of Odegaard in the past, but right now, I don't see Odegaard as a problem. I really don't. He's got Havertz in front of him. How good is he gonna? How good would Odegaard look in the Man City team? How good would Martin Odegaard look with Haaland in front of him? Do you know what I mean? He'd look like an absolute dream in the Manchester City team. His left wingers, Martinelli and Trossard, they're both out of form. The only player in our front three that's playing well is Saka. And even he's not playing that well. So, and it's the same like you said, RSPB, Mesut Ozil. He would have broken the assist record in the Premier League, but Giroud turned into the lamppost and couldn't do anything for 15 games. So, listen, I get it. I still think we look at Odegaard and think we can get more, but I think Odegaard's one of the best players in Arsenal's team. I really do. And I know people saying, you know, he plays with Haaland for Norway. Norway don't even qualify for tournaments. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just about having Haaland in the team. Imagine him in an effective team. Imagine him with Aubameyang up front at his best. He'd be brilliant. So I get your point, but I think Odegaard is a top player. He'd look even better with a better striker. Trossard 100% deserves the new contract. 100%? I just don't see the 100%. But listen, I hear you. Isak, Odegaard, Marino link-up could be great. Yeah, the Marino part of it is the bit I'm not sure about, Ennis. Let's talk about... Odegaard, you said, I was left crying when I saw a striker that can't convincingly score goals, saying he wants to learn defending like Gabriel Magalhaes. Yeah, that sums up everything. We got a defensive striker. Dirk Kuyt. The German Dirk Kuyt. Assassin said, big up Curtis, what makes me angry at this club that we are letting a manager learn on the job at our expense. Would City take Liverpool's assistant and appoint him as a manager? Standards is a high-low. And that's my thing all the time. People defend Arteta with, oh, he hasn't been a manager long. That's not our problem. You know what I mean? That's the club's problem. Why did they choose to do it? And if the progression hasn't been quick enough, they should go somewhere else. We should have gotten Pedro Neto. Well, we got Norbert Neto instead. So we did get Neto, just not quite the right one. Anyway, let's talk about Gabriel Martinelli. Ricky Martinelli. Gabriel Martin Smelly, some of you have called him. And by the way, just briefly on that Odegaard discussion, I don't think Odegaard is like an unbelievable player, but you've just watched Arsenal for 7 weeks without Odegaard in the team. If you don't think he is vital to our team, you've seen how our lack of creativity has been, especially in the last few weeks. He's imperative to this team and the way we play. And I think you put a better striker in front of him, you get a better Martin Odegaard. Put Isak up front, put Gyökeres up front, put somebody like that up front. He's had Havertz and Lacazette and Eddie and Nketiah. What the hell would you do as a creative midfielder creating for those three strikers? You need... David Blaine couldn't create something for them, let me tell you that. So, Gabriel Martinelli. This is the flip side of the coin. If Trossard gets the new deal, what happens with Gabriel Martinelli? Story coming out today. ESPN saying that Bayern Munich are eyeing up a potential move for Gabriel Martinelli this summer and believe an offer of £70 million would be accepted by Arsenal to let Martinelli go. Now, there's no quotes or anything, so how true this is, I don't know. If Bayern Munich offered £70 million for Gabriel Martinelli, he'd be on that EasyJet flight before you could say Guten Tag, Auf Wiedersehen. He'd be in the middle of Germany before they even had time for the email to be completely read. 70 million for Martinelli. Come on. That's game over. And I like Martinelli, and I haven't actually given up completely on Martinelli, right? I haven't I've left the defense league. I've took out the crypto. I mean, Bitcoin's flying. We've took it out of the Martinelli stocks. We're going for Bitcoin. You turn up with 70 million British pounds, pound notes. Auf Wiedersehen, my friend. Auf Wiedersehen. You'll be off. You will be playing up front with Harry Kane very quickly. Now, he'll probably go over there and do well. Bayern dominate the league. Do I believe the story, first of all, though? I mean, they've got Tell, they've got Coman, they've got Sané, they've got Elise, they've got Gnabry. They've got a whole heap of wingers. How could they actually afford to go and drop 70 million on Martinelli? I suppose we can look at Leroy Sané's out of contract in the summer. Leroy Sané probably end up at Arsenal. Leroy Sané's better than Martinelli, though. I know people think Leroy Sané's past his best. He's still better than Martinelli, in my opinion. If you sold him for 70 million and got Sané on a free, it's probably not a bad move, but Sané is... I think Sané's 29, 28 as well. Sell and bring Mudryk. I mean, that's probably what would happen. That's probably what would happen. I've told people, be ready for this summer. Be ready for this summer, Mudryk to Arsenal. Like, you can see it happening. We love the Chelsea recycling bin. The recycling bin was emptied this morning. I'm telling you, Mudryk, they'll be looking in that bin. Big up Josh in the chat, man. Believe in my son, he will come good. Listen, Martinelli, I'm a fan, but there's only so long, bro. There's only so long. But hopefully he comes good. What would you guys do? Do you know what? Let's end the first poll. More polls than an Atlanta strip club, people. The first one was, do you agree with Trossard getting a new 3-year deal? 70% say no. 30% say yes. So you're not happy with that new deal. 3 years is too long for a guy nearly turning 30. In my opinion. Would you sell Martinelli for 70 million? That is the question. Now, it's one of them where there would be some regret attached to it. I wouldn't be celebrating, but I would be like, you know what? You leave me with no choice. 70 million. But you've got to replace him adequately. That's the problem. This is my worry with Arsenal is you look at the left winger market. Yeah, there are players that you could potentially get, but the reality is I don't think that Nico Williams is coming to Arsenal. I don't think he is. I think he'll go Barcelona. And then I look at Kvara at Napoli. Would we get him? I'm not sure. He would cost a lot of money. He's arguing at the moment about his new deal. There's rumours he could leave. Would we get Rafa Leao? I don't think we would. 100 million release clause. I don't see it. So where is the replacement? The ones that look obvious, I'm looking at and going, I don't know if we get any of them. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not even completely convinced by this guy, Nico Williams, if I'm being totally honest. I think he's a bit of a YouTube footballer, where when he's good, he's electric. When he's bad, he looks terrible. I watched him a few times this year. I'm like, that don't look like the guy playing for Spain at the World Cup. This looks like somebody else. Even Leao, like Leao is one of them guys. He's a wavy footballer. When Leao's good, he is unbelievable. I look at him and think, oh my God, I would break the bank to get Leao to Arsenal. And when he's bad, you think, boy, but I like Leao. I like Leao more than Williams, to be honest. But 100 million, I don't see Arsenal dropping 100 million. Kvara might be the one. Small, can dribble, can shoot. Kudus we've been linked with, but to pay 80 odd million for Kudus, he's better on the right. We need a left winger. It would be the most Arsenal thing ever to do. Drop 80 million on a right winger. Listen, let's put it this way. Martinelli has to rescue his Arsenal career this season. Honestly, he's got to figure out a way. One thing we've realised under Arteta is that it doesn't take much to convince the manager to keep you. Look how long it took him to get rid of Holding and El Neni, and Jorginho's still here, and Cedric was here for years, and Martinelli's only got to hit a good 5 or 6 game run and he'll be fine at Arsenal. They won't get rid of him. Do I believe Bayern Munich are actually going to drop 70 million on Martinelli? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Elk said Nico Williams wouldn't leave Bilbao unless you offered him crazy wages. Players from Basque Country hardly ever leave their clubs. It's a good point. His brother's been there, I think, his whole career. South London's finest. We get Campos as sporting director. He can find the next Martinelli. Yeah, why not? Listen, Rodrigo, me and Turkish spoke about it on OGs. I mean, that is the signing that I would want to see. I do think there could be a situation this summer where Rodrigo starts to feel like he might want to move on. He seems to be the fall guy at Madrid at the moment, but he would probably cost close to 100 million. I'm sure other clubs would go for him. Would he come to Arsenal? I just don't know. It doesn't feel like a player that we would go for, but I would love to sign him. Imagine getting 60, 70 million for Martinelli and you buy Rodrigo for 100 million. It's basically cost you Martinelli plus 30, 40 million for Rodrigo. That would be unbelievable. Mitoma also suits us. Mitoma is a very, very good footballer. He's more intelligent than Martinelli. The problem with Mitoma, he doesn't put up numbers. And the sad thing about football nowadays is you've got to put numbers up in the big teams to play out wide. Last season he got 3 goals and he was out for 19 games with injury, Mitoma. Season before, 7 goals in 33 games. This season, 1 goal in 11 games, 27 years of age. He doesn't score enough goals. I like him as a footballer, very intelligent, quick dribbler, doesn't score enough goals. So the solution doesn't look easy. If Martinelli goes, or if Trossard goes, who comes in? Kudus is not great on the left. You know, I think you've got to go big. Do you know what? That's one that wouldn't surprise me. And I hate to do this. It's somebody like Grealish. I'm telling you, they're the kind of players you can see Arsenal being linked with. Grealish, Mudryk, Kudus. That's probably the kind of direction we'll go in. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Selly's Clark, said Brian. An unpopular opinion, says Sidorf. Mudryk is better than Perunelli. I'm a great believer. To be rated higher than someone, you've got to prove it. Mudryk's proved absolutely nothing at Man City, at Chelsea. Maybe his potential is, but I've seen nothing from Mudryk. Scores the odd goal in the Conference League. He's an absolute scrub. Honestly, he's a scrub, mate. I don't rate him at all. He should go to the Olympics and run the 100 metres. I don't rate him at all. There's a player at Watford called Georgie, left winger and a baller. Will be in the Prem soon. Hey, I appreciate it. 88 million for Grealish. I don't want Grealish, man. We should have got Grealish when he was at Villa. Listen, Martinelli has got to concentrate. He's got to concentrate. And I've said this before. This is my one defence that you're going to hear from me on Gabriel Martinelli, right? I've said this before. This isn't an individual situation. This is a collective situation. I actually don't think Martinelli is a terrible footballer. I think he lacks IQ and game intelligence, but I do think there is a good player there. Now, what level that gets to, I don't know. Is he ever going to reach world-class level? I don't see it right now. What he can be is an effective, dangerous player that puts defences on the back foot and comes up with some big goals. That's what he can be. Arsenal have got to get something from Martinelli till the end of this season. He's not going anywhere in January. We know he's going to be here until the end of the season. I think if he was playing, like you've said, unknown T, for Klopp, high press, stay high up the pitch, corner of the penalty area, he would cause problems. I'm convinced playing on the wing for Arsenal, you've got to defend too much. And I know people say wingers have to defend, and they do. But I think they defend too much. When you look at Saka on the right, Saka, the majority of the time, what does he do? He cuts inside and he whips in across. He doesn't drive at wingers, at fullbacks all game. He touch, cuts on the left, whips it in. Because I don't think he's got loads of energy to keep running at fullbacks because he's running backwards half the game helping the fullback. I'm telling you now, it's a fundamental problem at Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. As I've said, and I know I'm repeating myself here, when we signed Willian, he'd had his best season at Chelsea. He came to Arsenal, he was shocking. Aubameyang was a Golden Boot winner, stuck him out on the left, he was shocking. Lacazette up front, shocking. Pepe just disappeared. Nelson never developed. Trossard getting worse. Martinelli getting worse. This is not an individual problem. The way we play, for some reason, seems to make our attacking players regress. Too much work, too much defending, not enough energy to play high up the pitch and run at fullbacks and cause problems. The only one that's done okay out of it is Saka, but even Saka doesn't run at people as much. He cuts inside, whips a high crossing, as we did against Inter Milan. But having said that, for 70 million, I would probably accept it. But he ain't going nowhere for now. And yeah, Sterling. Do you know what I mean? Sterling's done nothing for us. He's hardly kicked a ball. So, hold on. Are you saying Arteta is the problem? No, said Sal. The man doesn't look up to... Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. Ennis said Martinelli scored 15, Odegaard 15, Saka 15. Under Mikel Arteta, even Havertz scored 14. Yep, 2 years ago when we actually played on the front foot, attacked teams, tried to rip teams apart. Last season, we still did it, but got a bit more defensive. This season, we've gone all the other way. You are not getting 15 goals this season out of Martinelli or Odegaard. You probably get it out of Saka. You might I don't even know if you get it from Havertz. When's the last time an Arsenal player scored 20 league goals? 20 league goals in a season, people. It's not that difficult, is it? Ivan Toney did it at Brentford in a relegation battle. 20 league goals. Oh yeah, Aubameyang. How come we scored 90 goals last year and no one got 20 goals? Crazy. Crazy. You ain't getting 20 goals in a league season out of anyone this year either. Because we ain't scoring 90 goals in the league this year. So it's a fundamental problem that our team isn't built for that. That's why often in tight games we don't find the winning goal because we're not built for mavericks. It's all systematic. Aubameyang under Emery. Elk said, this is when we need to get a good sporting director. Not going to lie to you, whoever we get will make or break us. These owners need to take this ish seriously. Yep, you're right. Aubameyang, 22 league goals. Trust Curtis to bring his agent Aubameyang in the conversation. Hey! And he's been talking. He's done an interview as well. I haven't even got the quotes ready. But yeah, I thought I wouldn't bring it up. But yeah, we'll always get an Aubameyang mention in there. Don't worry. I'm still not comfortable with the way we just ruined that guy. He was the guy, man. He was the man. Anyway, let's move on. Adebayor better than Havertz. Yep, scored 20 plus goals. Played for Real Madrid, mate. Definitely better. Xhaka unlocked Nelly. Something was definitely going on. Southern Guna said, what's crazy is Arteta played with electric Sanchez and had a first look at what an attacking player is. I mean, imagine Arsene Wenger, for all of Wenger's failings towards the end of his career, the one thing you never took from Wenger was we were never boring to watch. Like, Wenger would attack. In fact, Wenger was he neglected defending and we'd concede loads. That's why we got battered against better teams. But Wenger knew how to attack, I tell you that much. Arteta played for Wenger. He coached with Pep Guardiola. And yet, you've got us sitting back and won't go for the second goal when we're 1-0 up. And I don't get it. We are starving Arteta. Give us attackers. Yeah, good luck with that, mate. Don said, Curtis, why does Arteta like to buy slow players? Probably, maybe he thinks slower players are more suited to the system. If you look at Pep, his team's not that quick in the attack. Grealish ain't that quick. Okay, nah, Doku is, and Savinho is quick. But Doku doesn't really stop. He likes his Bernardo Silvas, his Fodens, his dribblers, you know. Gundogan and them man there. So it'll be interesting. Wenger let players focus on their strengths. Yeah, he did. Right, we'll move on from that. Let's focus on the game. As I always say, people, winning fixes everything. Beat Forest tomorrow. Supporting Arsenal becomes a happier place. It's a win. We have got a massive 10 days, 10 to 12 days on our hands. We've got Nottingham Forest at home. We've then got Sporting Lisbon away, Gyökeres, in the Champions League. We've then got West Ham away. They're in terrible form at the moment, but you would expect a reaction from them. And we've then got Manchester United, who are going to have new manager bats. And, you know, I would have much rather played Ten Hag's Man United than Amorim's Man United, just because psychologically new manager brings new hope, new expectation. And, you know, that's probably a more difficult game than it would have been 3 or 4 weeks ago or whenever Amorim was announced. So, listen, I've said it before, concentrate on one game at a time. But in reality, Arsenal have got to win at least their next 3 league games. We've got to win the next 3 league games. We've got to beat Forest tomorrow. We've got to beat West Ham, and we've got to beat Man United. Like, we've put ourselves in a horrible situation. The thing that can give us a bit of hope is over the next couple of weeks, Man City play Liverpool. Somebody's dropping points there, maybe a draw on both of them. And there's other tough games around that. Liverpool have to play Newcastle away. Man City got Tottenham tomorrow, but I actually think they're going to beat them comfortably. We have got to put a run together, and it has to start tomorrow. And it's a dangerous game. Tomorrow is a dangerous game for Arsenal because of the expectation and the pressure. And I've said before, the Emirates, at times, you know, like, I feel like certain stadiums, when your team is in a difficult situation, sometimes that stadium can help get you out of that situation. And I don't know if the Emirates is one of those stadiums. I think when we're playing well in a big game and we're winning, the Emirates, it goes crazy. It's an amazing place. But when, you know, a lot of the time you watch games and you go, yo, the Emirates is quiet, man. What's going on? Where's the atmosphere? Yeah, like Anfield and, you know, these other grounds, man, where the crowd is almost like the 12th man. I just worry if we go a goal down tomorrow. I think we will be under a lot of pressure. We have got to score the first goal in that game tomorrow. We've put ourselves in a horrible situation. Big up my bro, Dora on tour. Make sure you go and follow him. Best Nottingham Forest content creator. I'm sure he'll be at the game tomorrow. Yo, what's going on? How come you haven't shouted me for a preview, bro? What's going on? But anyway, go and follow Dora on tour. He said, get ready, bro. We are ready for Arsenal. I mean, how can Forest fans be coming to the Emirates talking like that? It's crazy. They're actually in better form than us. They've won 3 of their last 5 games. We've only won 1. We're stinking out the place. It's crazy. Chris Wood, Hudson-Odoi, Alanga, Gibbs-White, Murillo, who, you know, I think a lot of clubs are looking at Murillo. Who's been in good form. Arsenal are 4th, Forest are 5th. We're actually on the same points as Forest. We're above them on goal difference, on goals scored. Forest have got the 2nd best defence in the Premier League. Only Liverpool have conceded less. Arsenal have got to win. I've got to be honest. I'm expecting a very tough game, but I do think we'll beat them. I do think we'll beat them because of who we've got available. I think Martin Odegaard not going on international duty and having that 2 weeks at the training ground to get fit, get sharp. I know somebody criticised Odegaard in the beginning of this show, but I think he's vital for this team. And I just think, you know, the news is that Saka and Rice have trained today. Apart from Ben White, you're looking at a full strength 11 for tomorrow. And I just think at home at the Emirates, you do have to remember that Forest did lose their last game as well against Newcastle 3-1. I think we'll beat them. If we don't, I mean, lock it off. Like, honestly, I've said on here I don't think we win the league from this point, but if we don't win tomorrow, lock the season off. Just sim the season. Skip it. Skip the season. Just end it in the Premier League. If you can't beat them at home, lock the season off. Curtis, would you start Martinelli or Sterling or Trossard on the left? It's a good question. I wouldn't start Trossard. I would not start him. I might. Do you just throw Sterling in? But I can't. Martinelli scored against Chelsea, so he's going to play Martinelli. My thing with Sterling, and look, Sterling's getting a lot of criticism at the moment. If you play a run of games and you play badly, I think it's fair to be criticised because you've had the opportunity to prove yourself. My problem with the Raheem Sterling criticism is Sterling's hardly played for Arsenal. He started 2 Premier League games and one of them he got dragged after 30 minutes because Trossard got taken off. So I find it difficult to completely write Sterling off because he hasn't been given a fair opportunity to prove himself. It's just when he has played, he hasn't actually looked that good. I mean, against Preston, he couldn't score open goals. And so I would actually just stick with Martinelli, I'll be honest, just for the pace. He did score in the last game. Trossard's playing terrible. So I'll play Martinelli. I'll just play Martinelli. If you're going to play Trossard, play him up top and drop Havertz, but you ain't going to see that happen with this manager. I think Saka will play. We're going to get into press conference reaction shortly. Sterling is not getting a chance. It kind of feels like, what did we even sign him for if you weren't going to play him? Jesus has looked terrible, always comes on before Sterling. Yeah, Jesus, I'm almost giving up more on him than Raheem Sterling, I'll be honest, because he has been at the club and just got worse. Big C, thoughts on playing Jesus into form at striker? Number one, it won't happen because he loves Havertz too much. Number two, he just looks like he lacks belief. He looks like he doesn't look confident in scoring. I think he's 24 or 25 games in the Premier League without scoring a goal, Gabriel Jesus. I mean, I'm sorry. I've given up more on Jesus than Raheem Sterling. I'm telling you now. But yeah, let's get into... we'll get into the press conference reaction shortly. Try not to fall asleep. You know, Mikel Arteta's press conferences can be bland at times. But hopefully they've got something to talk about. It was slightly delayed again. In fact, the transcript is not even on the website yet. Kind of sums up Arsenal at the moment, don't it? They've got some problem at the moment on their website with memberships and getting tickets for people. So it's going wrong on and off the pitch. There's no transcript. The members can't get their tickets. We can't get a striker. I might have to just go through the quotes and not do the whole press conference because I've got the quotes. CB said, would you take Chris Wood over Donkey Havertz? He's a striker. He's in the penalty area. And he can finish. So I'm actually not joking. I would. Chris Wood. Chris Wood. At the moment. I'm sick of having a striker that doesn't play in the area. It just annoys me. He's got 8 goals in 11 games. Come on, man. Because his name's Chris Wood, people go, what? He's from New Zealand. Name's Chris Wood. If his name was Cristiano Woodaldinho from Corinthians, we'd take him. He's got 8 goals. He's got double the amount of goals that Havertz has got, mate. Come on. I'm not even joking. He's not a better footballer all round than Kai Havertz. Genuinely not a better footballer, but he's a better goal scorer. It's as simple as that. Master of Disaster. Jesus, last time he scored in the Prem, 30th of the 1st, 2024 versus Forest away. I mean, that's disgusting. Genuinely, I mean, who's wrote that? Master of Disaster. Honestly, I'm not even joking, right? It's now the 22nd of November. He scored his last goal in January. We're now in November. I honestly think if you played up front, if you put me up front from November, from January till November, I think I'd score a tap-in or a rebound. That's not me saying, yo, I can go into the Premier League and look. See, like, there's a lot of you. In your head, you would think, yo, 25 games in the Premier League up front, surely a tap-in, a sympathy penalty, a rebound, a scruffy shot that goes under the goalkeeper's arm. Anything. The man hasn't scored since January. It's November. Santa Claus is putting presents. He's ready to fly. And the man ain't scored a goal in the Prem. Come on, man. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Yeah, looks like waffle settings. Oh, it's there. It's there. It's just there. They've saved the day. Or have they ruined the day? Maybe it would have been better if we just did the quotes. But just in case, man said, nah, moving Mad Wood over Kai. Come on, Big C. He's a better goal scorer. I genuinely, he's a better goal scorer. I'm not sitting here for a second saying Chris Wood's a better footballer than Kai Havertz. I think all-round game, Kai Havertz a better player. But as a goal scorer, you play Chris Wood 38 games, Havertz 38 games. Chris Wood's scoring more. He's a better finisher. He's in the area. He knows the role. Striker, people have to understand, a striker, it takes a specialist. You can't just throw somebody up there and go, do a job for me up there, will you, big lad? It don't work like that. You might get away with it with a Firmino in a false nine as a link-up player, but in terms of out-and-out striker, come on, man. You can't, you got to be a specialist. You can't throw anyone up there. This ain't like ISS Pro back in the day. I used to put Roberto Carlos up front with R9 because they both had 99 pace. You know, it's a cheat code. Nah. Havertz as a striker, he's average. I'm sorry. He's average. You had two goal-scoring wingers who scored loads of goals, you get away with it. But when you haven't, he's not that good. Chris Wood will score 15 league goals at least this season. At least. He might get close to 20. And that's crazy. Oh, his hat-trick last year against Newcastle. Chris Wood, go and watch that hat-trick. I'd love to play it to you, but they'll copyright me, man. They're on me at the moment. Go and watch that hat-trick. He'd ruin his career anyway, this guy. He'd put him defensive midfield. Honestly, he'd have him defensive midfield trying to play like Rodri. Inverted striker. It's that time, people. Information and entertainment is back. Coleman music. He is back in full effect. International break is over. Look at the face. He's in deep thought again, people. I'm telling you, all is not well. That 15 million ain't covering up these problems, bro, right now. I'm telling you, there's a couple grey hairs there. Look at the deep thought on his head. It was at this moment that you knew you effed up. He's sitting there thinking, oh my God, why did I spend 65 million on Kai Havertz, make him the highest paid player in the club, when I desperately need a striker? Now Edu's ran off. I've got no idea what we're doing in the transfer window. Jason Ato is the sporting director. He sounds like a guy out of a new movie that's coming out, Fast and Furious. Jason Ato, ludicrous, Fast and Furious 12 or whatever Fast and Furious they're at. It's crazy. This guy knows. You're an intelligent guy, Mikel. I met you. You know what you're talking about. You messed up. You messed up, bro. Edu jumped off the ship before it hit the iceberg. He took the rescue boat and ducked out. He said, nah, iceberg right ahead. I'm out of here. I'm telling you. Edu knew what he was doing. Edu said, they're going to blame me. They're going to blame me. But that window wasn't my fault. I didn't want these guys. He wanted his Brazilians, Paquetas and them. Bruno Guimaraes. They reckon he argued about Marino. He didn't want him. He said, they're going to blame me, so I'm leaving. Gardening leave. Man's at home on full pay. Edu's hit the jackpot. Imagine you go to work, get sacked from your job, but for the next 6 months, you can sit at home and receive your full wage. You have hit the jackpot, bro. I'm telling you. He's nailed it, Edu. And then he's going to go to Forest and triple his wages. People saying inverted eyebrows. The eyebrows are strong. The eyebrows are very strong. They are a bit inverted. Like, they kind of start at left back, like Zinchenko, and then they invert into the middle of the park. This is like the centre midfield area. You know, so yeah, inverted eyebrows, people. You know, we're inverting everything here, people. He doesn't look happy. I respect him for leaving. Edu, fair play to you, bro. Edu said, listen, man, I was at the Invincibles. I'm not taking the blame for this. I'm leaving. I'm getting barbecues. I'm going on jet skis. They're going to pay me for 6 months. Then I'm going to Forest. Fair play to him. I wonder if he'll be at the ground. Probably not. He's probably banned from the stadium. On how we stand with injuries after the international break. There's been some positives, some not so. Trossard seems to be okay. He trained this morning. Seems to be feeling good. We will assess everything. Let me take that logo off the screen. Get out of here, fella. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know, I couldn't believe when I went to Philadelphia. We went to, oh man, what's the place called? We went to the Philly cheesesteak place anyway. And there was these guys sitting there, old guys. And they were talking like the Italian Americans in the film. I loved it. I thought I was in like Goodfellas. It was like, get out of here. What you doing around here, Tommy? I don't know. Was that accent bad? That's kind of what I felt like it sounded like. But I thought I was in Goodfellas. I couldn't believe it. I said, yo, where's Jimmy Conway, man? What's going on here? What's happening? You want to get whacked? I'm going to put you in the boot. Nah, that one definitely wasn't right. That was crazy accent. But you know what I'm saying? You should have went to Angelo's. I'm sure I tried to go Angelo's, you know. One of them was closed. Man. But Philly was... Yo, I like Philly, you know. Philly's a good city. Sounds like a New York accent. Well, at least I'm on the East Coast somewhere. I'm not too far away. Is it me or does Calafiori, is he acting? Bro, Calafiori, I don't know if you've seen the video that they released this morning of the players arriving back at the training ground. I thought Calafiori was Central C. I thought Calafiori was Cinch. I thought there was a music video coming out. Saka got out the car. Calafiori got by. I said, what's going on here? Central C's at the training ground. I said, rah, they're making a new music track. They brought him here for vibes, man. He's going to be a model. He'll be on London Fashion Week, man. Don't worry about it. Don't matter if he's injury prone or not. Philly Italian accent different to the New York one, but it's close. Yeah, it's similar. Not bad. But yeah, it's wild. He's listening to drill. Yeah, they've done him. They've absolutely done him. Shall I try and get the video? I can't even play the video. For some reason at the moment, YouTube on copyright is absolutely wild. They're going crazy. I'm getting like warnings for little... When I played that Gyökeres goal the other day, I got messages straight away. Take that out the video, blah. I said, raw, these lot are going mad. These lot are going absolutely mad. I'll try and get that up while we go through the press conference. If I can get it, I'll try and get the picture. Oh, I've got it actually. I've got it. I won't play the video. Look at this. What's going... Nah. I'm definitely not going to play the video because I know Arsenal will go for me, especially with the stuff that I've said with the Arteta out shows and that over the past few years. So, got to be careful. But look at this. I'd love to play the whole video. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this. Look at this. That is Central C, people. That is Cinch. That's Calafiori. I can't believe it. Let me move it on. Look, Louis Drip. He's going to be at Fashion Week. Look at that. That's Cinch. Saka gets out the car. I wish I could. Look, Saka turns up. Look at the Urus in the background. Grey car, grey tracksuit. I see what you're doing, Bakayo. And then Cinch. I'm telling you, it's like Dave and Central C. I thought they were going to do Sprinter. Let's add 2 gal. What is it? 9 gal in the Sprinter. SOS. Somebody rescue me. I got too many gal. It'll last me the next 2 weeks. Bro, that is Central Calafiori. What is going on? London's mashed this guy up. He's listening to drill. He's wearing Louis Drip. He looks like Cinch. It's all mad, people. It's crazy. We've got a new Bellerin on our hands. Calafiori. That's Cinch. I'm telling you, bro. We can go band for band. Yo. It's all mad, people. What's going on? It's London Fashion Week at Colney. I hope that's not the training pitch, actually, that he's just walking on. It's about as rock hard as that sidewalk anyway. He'll be planting trees soon. Hey, can't you see him in the background? That was Bellerin's leaving gift. 3,000 trees at Colney. And now Win the Dog wheeze and poos up all the trees. It's crazy. I told you we ain't going to win the league, but we're going to look good losing that league anyway. We're going to look good losing the league, for real. Let me go back to waffle settings. It's crazy. It really... I wish I could play that video, but they'll copyright strike me, man. I can't do it. So Trossard's back. Saka and Rice, they had their first partial session today, so very good. We spoke about that the other day. They reckon Saka and Rice will play. On Ben White, he said, Ben is going to be out for months. It's been a different kind of struggle. It's never been the same thing. We had to make a decision in the last few weeks, unfortunately. We know that Ben is going to push every boundary to a point where we had to protect the player. We decided to do the surgery. We agreed with that, and obviously it will keep him out for a few months. Wow. We have to see how he reacts post-surgery. I don't expect him to be out for half a season or a year, but I cannot tell you exactly how long. Let me tell you something now. I've been doing press conference reaction for a long time. You guys tune in all the time. Big up. One thing I can tell you for sure is this guy does not give you time frames on people. For him to comfortably come out and say Ben White's out for months, let me tell you now, you ain't seeing Ben White for months. You ain't seeing Ben White for months, people. For him to... I think the 12 weeks thing is probably right. 12 weeks, 3 months. You ain't seeing Ben White for months. I reckon Ben White's done one because we're heading into winter. Ben White said, listen, Gaffer, it's getting cold. I'll have my operation. But I think when I recover, I need to do it in Ibiza or Dubai. You know, Ben White's going to come back with a suntan. So... Ben White is out for months. I mean, we're in November. You're looking... We're nearly in December next week. Yeah, you ain't seeing him for a long time. So, yeah, well, you're right, H. Instead of buying a striker, we'll probably sign a right back in January. Go and get Tariq Lamptey or someone, you know. So he's out for months. That's not great. How Calafiori is training. Ricky trained today. Sench. So his rehab is going well. He was able to do certain things last week with the physios. Trained on the pitch this week with us, and today he will be in the squad. That's good news. That's good news. We need somebody back. You're right. Luckily, we do have Timber. On Kieran Tierney and Tomiyasu, he said, Kieran, not yet. They released pictures the other day of Tierney in training. He was a new man. Usually, I'll brave the weather. I'll put a T-shirt on when it's snowing. Man had long sleeve top, long bottoms. I said, yeah. All that tough guy, I'm Scottish, I can deal with any weather talk has gone out the window. You keep getting injured. Maybe you need to wrap up. He said he's had a couple sessions with the team, but he's not ready yet to be with the team. Tomiyasu is going to be out as well for a bit. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some pin in it. If you've watched Friday After Next, you're right there with me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Listen. I did a show 3 days ago. They said Tomiyasu and Calafiori were back. That was the reason Ben White was having the operation. What? No, I'm done. It's over. I'm sorry, mate. It's got to be over now. What is going on? We used to call this guy Tommy Cafu. What do you mean? They said he was back in training. He's injured again. How old is he, man? What the hell? He's got to go. He has got to go. He's 25. He's got to go, man. He's going to be out for a bit. How long's a bit, bro? He's been out all season pretty much. He played 7 minutes. It's not even 2 songs. He's got to go, man. And I like Tomiyasu. That's why it's actually frustrating, because I actually think he's a good player, but he's got to go. These guys are made out of wet tissue paper. Genuinely, I just don't get it, man. The guy never plays and he's injured. Imagine being injury prone and yet you don't hardly play. Tomiyasu's Irish James. Them man probably get injured getting out the car. Real talk. Them man, you don't even see them man do the fashion parade. You're right, Eros. They'll give him a new 3-year contract to protect his value. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Not interested. Honestly, been through it too much at Arsenal. Once you become injury prone for more than, say, 2 seasons, you've got to go. He has to go now. But who's going to buy him anyway? Who's going to buy him? He's injured all the time. I can't believe he's injured. I haven't even seen that headline about Tomiyasu being injured. That is what gets injured sleeping. I'm telling you, he probably falls out the bed and dislocates his shoulder. Damn, Tomiyasu, bro. What is the point? On the mood in the camp over the last couple of weeks, I think about everything that we've done is the reason we haven't won games. The opponent has been superior to us. The clear answer is no. Should we have won more of those games? The answer is yes. Do I like what our team is doing? The answer is yes. But we have to improve certain things, especially how we have defended and attack in the box. Overall, I think a lot of things, but I need to understand how the players are. The only way to do that, other than communicating on the phone, is when they come back and the energy of the staff. That's the joy of being with these guys on the journey. They love being here. They love to be back with us, and that brings the energy straight up. There's not much that I need to do. It's always good to paint the picture and make sure we're on the right track. I mean, I'm not sure what you're painting right now, mate, but you're not painting with paintbrushes, mate. You're painting with broken crayons. Let me tell you that. Because that ain't a pretty picture, whatever you're painting. Let me tell you that. Bro, like I said, it ain't even 2 songs. I ain't even getting through 2 songs. And Tomiyasu's injured already. I said 1 instrumental. On Pep Guardiola signing a new contract at Man City. If it's what he really wants, and I'm sure it is, I congratulate him. I already did it. I'm happy for him because I want the best for him. You know, the sinister part of me, people, and forgive me for this. You find a lot of the time people with Caribbean roots, you know, brutal. And also, you know, being an Arsenal fan, there's a whole heap of PTSD. Part of me thinks sometimes that Guardiola planted Arteta at Arsenal, you know. Like, he's so powerful. He's even deciding what manager goes to the club. Because he knows, like, yeah, Arteta can do well there, but he'll never be as good as me. Maresca will do well at Chelsea, but he'll never be as good as me. You play Bayern Munich in the Champions League, company will be good. He ain't going to beat me, is he? He ain't going to... I genuinely, I can't help it. I'm sorry. I know, I shouldn't think like that, but I feel like Pep's that powerful. Take this... Come on. Why is everyone getting Pep's assistant manager? That's the new thing. Yeah, who's Pep's assistant? Yeah, get him in as manager, mate. You know, he'll have learnt from Pep. He'll be the new Pep. Well, funnily enough, none of them have actually become the new Pep yet. Arteta ain't the new Pep. Company ain't the new Pep. Maresca ain't the new Pep. So, who's the new Pep? And remember, Ten Hag worked with Pep at Bayern Munich, and he definitely ain't the new Pep. So, who is the new Pep? Somebody explain that to me. Why are we looking for the new Pep when it doesn't seem to exist? It's crazy. Oh, you worked for Pep? Yeah, we'll give you the job. Here, here's 700 million, do your best. Oh, 1 FA Cup? Not quite the new Pep. Maybe the new David Moyes. Anyway, let me not say too much. On if it's good for our title ambitions. And by the way, he said, I want the best for him. Save that stuff for WhatsApp, mate. Don't put that in the press conference. I don't want the best for him. I want him to lose the league, lose games, be angry, right? We don't want the best for him. In life, you know, I wish him well. In football, I want misery for him. I'm sorry. On if it's good for our title ambitions, we can only do what is up to us. We have to be at our very best to achieve what we want. The others can too. But the others can too. It's not our decision. Boring questions. How much he's enjoyed his first 250 games? Probably about 70, 80 games too many. I'm sorry. I'm in a sinister mood, people. Self-awareness is important, and I'm aware I'm in a very sinister mood at the moment. I think, you know, what happened before the international break, it's still luring over me, and I'm not over it yet. So if I say some things, you know, just bear with me. On potentially managing 250 more, I mean, I'm sorry, mate. If Arteta manages 250 more games for Arsenal, there better be a number of titles. Yeah, and I ain't talking about Carabao Cups. 250 more games and there's no title. I will definitely be a full-time NBA channel. I'm telling you now. If he's here for 250 more games and we haven't won a league title, I might even be introing the show with an American accent. Honestly, like, no. There can't be 250 more games of Mikel Arteta. Don't even ask him that question. Unless he's lifting a Premier League title. Let me tell you that. On Nottingham Forest form, they've been really good, consistent. They've been tough against the best. Big credit to Nuno, the coaching staff, and what they're doing. They're clear with their intentions, how to manage to take the game their way they want. I'm really impressed. On us being unbeaten at home, we love playing at the Emirates. We know we have a unique atmosphere. Yeah, a quiet one. Again, the way I saw the team the last 48 hours, I'm confident tomorrow we will go out and try and win. On his greatest achievement in his 250 games, bringing the club together 100%. Lifting the spirit and giving a very clear DNA to the football club and setting it right again to be representing the club and this football shirt from the players to everybody who works at the club in the way that is expected at this level. Oh, I'm crying. Honestly, Martin Luther Arteta, my friend. Make him a politician. Honestly, make that guy a politician. He'll make you vote for his political party. Honestly, the waffle is on. The syrup's gone already. Like, that answer is so. You've answered without answering. Bringing the club together 100%. Oh yeah, you brought us together. Before you, we weren't together. We didn't go to games. We didn't buy merch. We felt nothing for the club. But with you, mate, we just love everything about the club. Yeah, how about the trophies, Mikel? Oh, here we go. Yes! Yes! Who asked that question? Finally! 500 press conferences, a decent question on whether his aim now is to add trophies. Yes! Thank you. Whoever asked that question, beautiful scenes. Let's hear the waffle of the answer. This is not the only one. You have to maintain a lot of things that you do. Sometimes you achieve them, but they can drop very quickly. So it's maintaining them, and that's work you have to do consistently every day. But now it's about winning, and that's the next step for sure. I mean, what did he really say there? I don't know. I'm convinced I don't understand waffleese, man. I don't. Somebody needs to, like, translate it for me, man. I thought I spoke fluent waffle, but I don't even understand this. Like, what did he say? What did he say? He said a lot, but he didn't really say nothing. That is not the only one. You have to maintain a lot of things. Sometimes you have to achieve them, but they can drop quickly. I just, oh, God. Are you going to win trophies or not, bro? You know what I mean? Finally, we got a good question. You waffled your way out of it. On whether he expected Guardiola to sign a new deal, he said, I have no clue. I don't even want to read the answer. Who cares? On the significance of tomorrow and the next 6 weeks, it's about building momentum, results, back-to-back wins. That would, again, create energy. On getting to 250 games in his first job, it could have been much shorter. Got to highlight that. Do you know why? Probably the realest thing you've ever said. Probably the realest thing you've ever said. But you knew, didn't you? You knew. You had control of everything, bro. You knew, mate. You knew. The Kroenke said, listen. What we want, Mikel, is something similar to the latter stages of Arsene Wenger. Not in terms of the toxicity. But what we want, we're going to chill. LA Rams, Denver Nuggets, Colorado Rapids. We're going to be busy trying to win trophies. There's 15 million a season. Take care of everything. Ring me. Tell me how much money you've made us. And keep it moving. We won't give you no problems as long as you're in the top 4. I'm in a crazy mood today. Honestly, I must be getting older. I feel like one of them just brutal Jamaican uncles that just... I don't know what the problem is. I've been in a great mood for 2 weeks during this international break. It's Arsenal, you know. Arsenal put me in a mood. Genuinely, I'm realising Arsenal put me in a mood. Like they do. I was two-stepping the other day. I'm good. I'm a very happy person, but Arsenal, you make me cynical. I'm just like, I don't know what they do to me, man. Jesus. I'm brutal. He said, it could have been much shorter, especially in the world that we live right now. I really appreciate it. My first word is gratitude. You're damn right. It's an honor to do the job that I do when I do it. With who? And that's why I love what I do. I thought he was rapping then. Whatever it takes, oh, my heart breaks, I will be right here waiting for you. I don't know who sings that, but I hear that on the radio. I know it's a classic. He said, it's no coincidence. I feel really lucky and hopefully we can continue. I don't know about that, mate. Don't know about that last bit. On the last 2 months, he said, I know from my insides when I plan the season. What kind of, inside? Is it kind of P. Diddy thing you talk about? When I plan the season and have a start and finish, it's a journey. Here we go. This guy, honestly, more journeys than the bus driver. Is it about the journey, guys, or the destination? I mean, come on. Is it Michael Bolton or Richard Marx? I haven't got a clue. I just know it's one of them radio bangers that you hear, and I don't know who it is. We all go travelling on the bus together. It's going to be bumpy. There's going to be bad weather. Things are going to happen. My thing is how I'm going to navigate, how I'm going to make the others navigate in the midst of all that, because it's going to happen. It's guaranteed it's going to happen. Unless we become invincible and win every game, and then fine, we didn't have to go through it. I mean, what kind of bus are these lot driving? The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long. He said we're Project Youth. Maybe they're singing nursery rhymes on the bus. Didn't he tell me in LA we need 114 points? I said, Mikel, how do you outdo Manchester City? We got to get 114 points. Well, you can't get 114 points now, so now what? These men are singing the wheels on the bus go round and round. I'm convinced. Mikel Arteta's turned into Mr. Tumble. I'm telling you, it's crazy. This is the Disney Channel. CBeebies. But in the way that I predicted this season it was going to happen, was I expecting as many things that have happened? No. But I love how the team reacts, how the club reacts when there are difficulties. This is genuinely, this feels like I'm just watching like a politics channel. Honestly, man, this needs to end. End it. On losing Ben White for a couple months, it's a challenge. It was going to be something we did. Ben was probably the best with Gabby and Willow. We'll miss him. We're going to have to find alternatives, but there are a lot of positives. Declan is back. Bakayo is back. Durin is in a good place. He could not play the last game. Leo came back. Ricky's back. Ricky, a.k.a. Central C. On whether Bakayo and Declan are in a better position, having not played for England. I prefer it when players are in the routine, in the rhythm. They couldn't do it. They were injured. And trying to avoid injuries, don't even talk about it. I'd like some normality. Not everything has happened lately. Let's skip it. And whether he sees similarities to last season, which improved after a trip to Dubai. He said it was not because of Dubai. That would be too simple. It's because I'm looking back at all the games. Mikel, it's Dubai. It's the gold stake. It's the hot weather. Get yourself off to Dubai, my friend. Simple as that. You need gold stake. And what is the key to finding consistency? Availability. On whether there is any margin for error, he said it's much smaller, obviously, when you see the consistency of Liverpool. On Rafael Nadal's retirement, I mean, listen, let me just say something. I like tennis. I love Rafa Nadal. One of the best we've ever seen. But we're playing Nottingham Forest tomorrow, mate. We're not playing the French Open, and we're not playing at Wimbledon. Although we've actually played like Wimbledon for the last few months, the way we've been putting 46 crosses a game in. Rafa Nadal, respectfully, one of the greats, Federer, Nadal, all you guys, ask him that in your own personal time. Ask him on WhatsApp. I'm not interested in what Arteta thinks about Rafael Nadal. I want to know who's playing up front. Unless Nadal's playing up front for Arsenal, ask him someone else. Yeah, Federer was better than him as well. I don't care what anyone says, but I did like Nadal. He was good. On his recent visit to the US to meet our owners. You've been in America, have you? Having dinner with the Cronkies. To sign your new £15 million contract, you snake. I'm sorry. I feel like, you ever watched, what's that film, man? Me, Myself and Irene, where like he's got two personalities. You know, I need to get out of this stream today. I'm in a very edgy mood with Arsenal. You know, Calafiori's dressing like Central C. He's talking about the bus journey and how we need to, go over bumps in the. I just no. Just finish off. So you went to America. We had time to talk about the transfer window. Did you now? Did you? I'm glad you've said that, because if you don't buy anybody sufficient, I will bring back this quote. We had time to talk about the transfer windows. He says, windows. Okay. So we're going to see what you spoke about by the end of January. If I don't see a Gyökeres or someone, mate, then we know. Charlie and Hank, that's it. Oh, what a film that is, by the way. Ah, dear. Anyway, is he just glazing over them? How we're feeling about what we're doing and how we're feeling about where we're going to take the club in the direction. And Edu. It's a lot of topics there. But again, it's a joy to spend time with them because there's a lot to learn. They have so much experience in sport because you feel the ambition, especially when you are there. They are very far away, but how closely they live every day with us. And what we want to achieve together, it feels great. I mean, tempted to put the laptop out the window. The top window, by the way, just to get this off my screen. I'm going to stay patient because to fill out the insurance forms, to wait for the new one to come, then they're going to ask, how did you break the laptop? I'll say it was an accident. Then they'll probably say, well, you're not covered for accidents. Then I've lost my laptop and I'm all over the place. Then I'm back to streaming on the phone with the washing machine in the background. You're thinking, why does it look like I'm back in 2019? And then it all just goes horribly wrong. So I'm not going to put the laptop out the window. I'm going to keep it on the desk. You've glazed the hell out of the Cronkays there. Honestly, yeah, P. Diddy oil all over him by the look of it. Man said, take that. It's bad boy. I mean, you spoke about the transfer window, so I would like to think that you spoke about who you want to sign in January rather than who we're not going to sign in January. Have you got a dishwasher yet? I haven't, people. I haven't. I'm still leaving pots and pans to just soak in the water and the soap. I might get myself a dishwasher for Christmas. You know, when you get older, they're the kind of... You know, when you get older, things really change at Christmas. You know, when you was when I was a kid, I'd be dreaming like, am I getting a Nintendo 64 for Christmas with Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye and FIFA, ISS Pro? They were the dreams. Simple but real dreams, people. Now, people buy me pots and pans. Oh, I've bought you new pans for Christmas. I don't want pans for Christmas. I don't care if I'm getting older. Buy me things that are going to give me excitement and enjoyment. I don't want pots and pans. I just don't. I still want a Nintendo 64 with Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye, and ISS Pro. I'm still up for it. I'm still up for it. We can run it back. Yeah, get me some Air Jordans. Yeah, that can work. That can work. But pots, pans, socks. Someone always gets your socks, don't they? I don't want them. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I'm trying to actually, lean people towards, the right things. The right things. I might sound very unappreciative now, but I'm still ready to play Diddy Kong Racing on N64. We can run it back. I'm my own dishwasher, not going to lie. Yeah, I'll be honest, I hate washing the dishes. I'm the type of person, I won't wash the dishes until, there's no spoon left, there's no fork left. If I open the drawer and there's one left, well, there's one left. We'll wash when we're out, but the dishwasher would be good, I can't lie. I don't know I'm in a very strange mood today. Honestly, it's Arsenal. Arsenal are hanging over me. It's like a Sunday evening at home when you knew you had work on Monday and you didn't like your job and you could just feel that energy of work coming back. I love doing this as a job. It's not the job, actually. It's just feeling that Arsenal stress coming back. I'm in a very... Yeah. We're going to need some Ray Nephews! The red stripe ain't going to do it today! Right, let's continue, people. Let's continue. I'm waffling for real. I've been live for an hour and a half. We ain't even finished the press conference. On assistant sporting director Jason Ato stepping up. He's very good, Jason and all the team. Edu and I probably got a lot of praise, but the work behind is done by these guys. Yeah, don't want to hear about Jason Ato, mate. Sounds like an actor. And whether there's a time frame for Tomiyasu, he said, no, he's going to be away now for a few weeks. Oh, my God. I'm convinced Tomiyasu, he's on his way to training. They go, listen, you're back. You're fit. You've been out for months. You're back. And I reckon he just gets a hammer out of his boot of his car and he just whacks himself on the knee. Bang! Ah! Oh, my knee. He turns up at the training ground. Gaffer, I'm done again. 8 weeks. I need to go home. I'm done. Look at my knee. It's all swollen. He don't want to play for Arteta. He's seen Arsenal putting 46 crosses in. He said, anything but Arteta ball, mate. Just whack my knee. Tomiyasu don't want nothing to do. He's Arteta out, I'm telling you. On whether he wants to win a Premier League title by finishing above Guardiola. What? Am I reading this? What kind of question is that? He said, we certainly have a lot of the best managers in the world. That's enough. That's the challenge. We know that... I can't read anymore. On Odegaard's condition, he played really well against Chelsea. The ankle... because after such a long time, he needed time to recover. The ankle reacted in other areas in the body. Wasn't ideal. He's been okay. The last day and a half he's trained. And what we missed during Odegaard's absence, he couldn't play, but we did a lot of things. In some games it worked, but Martin brings everybody together. And whether we missed Odegaard in the dressing room, he said he's been really on it in that sense. When you step in there and you have to go through certain moments on the field, having him makes life easier, but that doesn't mean other players don't do it or you can't do it in a different way. It's over. It's over. If you're still awake and you're still tuned in, thank you very much, because it was a very entertaining press conference, but not from him. I feel like we just flipped it and made it entertaining. He doesn't really give us much to work with, but we figure out a way of making it work, people. I've been live longer than I expected to be, but I felt it was necessary. Calafiori's dressing as Central C. Tomiyasu's injuring himself. And Trossard's getting a new deal while having his worst run of form ever in an Arsenal shirt. But apart from that, everything looks rosy in the garden. Oh, and we're 9 points behind Liverpool, despite losing their legend of a manager in the summer and only buying Chiesa for 12 million in the summer. I need to get out of here, honestly. I need a break. I need another international break. What team are we going to put out tomorrow? It should pick itself, really. Let's get the team picked. Raya in goal, back four, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, Calafiori. The only thing about Calafiori, has he been out for too long to go straight back in? I don't see any other option. Tierney's not fit unless he plays Zinchenko, but Zinchenko's been snitching, so I don't think Zinchenko's going to get a start either. The midfield's interesting as well, but I think he'll go with what? I think he's got to go with that. But could he go with... If Calafiori isn't fit, match fit, could he go Timber left back, Partey right back? Because I do think he wants Marino in this team. He could definitely play Marino centre mid and put Partey at right back. And then Rice goes in the 6, Marino goes in the 8, and Odegaard goes attacking midfield. That wouldn't surprise me if he did that. That's probably what I would go with. Just for balance. At least everybody kind of knows what they're doing. Forest will be difficult to break down. And I would not be playing Partey at right back against people like Hudson-Odoi and Alanga. They are quick and they are direct. I think he'll struggle. That's what I would pick. I don't see how it isn't that team. The only explanation would be that Calafiori hasn't had enough time on the training ground to start. That's the only explanation we could have. Let me go through these super chats, then I'm out of here, people. Red Dust said, long season ahead. There is no way we buy a striker and put Havertz on the bench. This manager needs to justify the 65 million after wasting 35 million on a player like Vieira. Big clubs do it, though. You look at big clubs, like Man City got Grealish on the bench, 100 million. Sometimes you spend big money on a player, it doesn't quite work. You go again, you use them as squad players. But I hear you. I suppose at least Grealish won a treble before they started benching him. Last loss said, Arteta brings Havertz at 65 million, which turned out to be a mistake. And instead of admitting it, he shoehorns him into the main forward. How do you think Jesus would feel? How would you feel? He clearly doesn't care anymore. The only, listen, I agree with what you've said there. He's definitely shoehorning Havertz into the team. The one thing that I could say against Jesus has had the chance. You was the striker. Do you know what I mean? You was playing up front before Havertz was even at the club. And when Havertz first signed, he was playing in midfield. You was the striker. You stunk out the place. You didn't even want to play up front. So, I don't feel sorry for Jesus. You had 18 months up front as a striker and it failed. Now you're on the bench. To be honest, Jesus needs selling anyway. But big up to you. I appreciate the super chat. Adar said, this is what happens when you do the team squad and structure recruitment based on vibes instead of qualifications and data driven. But hey, 10 minutes calls works. Exactly. Let's forget the fact that Raheem Sterling's stinking out the place at Chelsea. That 10-minute phone call convinced me, according to the manager. Red Dust said, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're in November and the club is already in damage control mode. The reality is a large part of our shortcomings in recent years are self-inflicted. Absolutely 100%. They cause these problems. People defend the Kroenkes because they invested big money in the club. Putting money into a club alone does not make you a good owner. You have to actually get the right people in position. Who would buy one of the biggest clubs in England and in Europe and say, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a sporting director with no serious credentials behind him. I'm going to get a manager who's never managed, and I'm going to give them $750 million and see what they can figure out. Is that not an insane thing to do? Like, even if you said, right, I've got a feeling about this guy, Arteta. I don't know what it is. I just think he's going to be a great manager. If you thought that, you would say, right, get a sporting director that has been there, done it, knows the market, has great relationships with agents, and can get him the very best players that our money is going to work with. To get a sporting director who goes around Europe getting bumped. Oh, yeah, 65 million for Havertz. What? Like, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. Found some cash at Nah, Curtis. This streamer sent me. Arsenal's broken us. Rather this than AFTV. Big up to Found Some Cash. Red Dust said, manager is achieving generational wealth at the club. I'm sure he's enjoying the journey and the company. I really hope he can bring us some trophies. For the next 3 years, Arteta will earn £45 million. And yet I'm meant to sit here and feel sorry for him and say, oh, give him more years, more phases, trust the process. No, he's trying to drag this journey out as long as possible to make him and his family very, very wealthy. And you are spot on with that. He's actually got the best job in the Premier League, Mikel Arteta, when you think about it. He's the second highest paid manager in the Premier League with hardly any demand. If Pep doesn't win a trophy this year, that'll be seen as a mini crisis. Oh my God, Pep didn't win a trophy for 1 year, even though he's won 4 Premier Leagues in a row and won a treble. We've gone 4 years without even reaching a cup final. And the majority of the fan base are going, who are you going to replace him with? Come on, do me a favour. He's got the best job in the Premier League. Has he read Zinni's book? I doubt it very much. I doubt it very much. People, it's been an epic stream. Did I finish that poll, Martinelli? Martinelli. Would you sell Martinelli for 70 million? 81% of you said yes. 19% said no. You want him out. For 70 million, I'd want him out. I'd want him out for 70 million. People, Arsenal against Forest tomorrow. Big game. Big C, I have a dishwasher, but I've never used it. Get involved. You got to use it. I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. People, thank you very much for tuning in. Brilliant show. Love the vibe today. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Arsenal against Forest tomorrow. Take care. I'll see you soon, people. Bless.